Hey everyone, Meet Kevin here. Boy, if you are an entrepreneur going through a tough time or just looking for some motivation, this video might be for you. In this video, we're gonna start by touching on some of the oopsie doopsies and the end or canceling of Meet Kevin, and then we're gonna talk about how we're going to try to focus on the big B. And no, not bankruptcy, right, Ella? So first, something that I find very interesting about YouTube that I found is that your viewership can fluctuate a lot. It can go up and down, and it usually does that in cycles. Your goal is to try to get the little dotted line trend to be up over time, obviously. But the longer you're on YouTube, so the longer time moves to the right, the more hate you get, even as viewership potentially goes down. And that's mostly because everyone who hates on you wants to make sure they remind the world of your oopsie doopsies and not of your successes. And that's okay. As time goes on, though, it's just there are always going to be more scars. People will tend to make more oopsie doopsies. Right, Ella? You get a little frustrated about that, too. But that's okay. That's Ella, by the way. She was born October 26th with her twin sister. Now, let's get some of the oopsie doopsies out of the way so we can talk about the future, because you'll find some of these things that we went through are going to be things that just lead people to give up. They kind of make you feel like, why not just throw in the towel, sell everything, retire, be grateful what you have? Why be greedy and keep trying? You know, those are just some of the comments that you get. And I agree, I've definitely made mistakes. I made a mistake promoting FTX. I made about $133,000 from them, all of which, by the way, will either go to legal fees or what's left after that will go to charity for crypto. I promised that on day one, and that is going to be true. It takes years for these things to settle out, so that's still ongoing. But boy, that guy duped everyone. And I have to live with that scar of somebody else being a fraud. So even though it's easy to say, oh, well, it's their fault, they're the fraud, I will deal with it. And I will accept it as something that I will always have to. I also effed around driving and promptly found out. That reckless definitely makes my insurance go up. But all I could say to that is, don't be an idiot. Drive safely and do the right thing. And I recognize I made mistakes and I regret those. Then I was also branded as a flip-flopper for selling stocks in January of 2022 that ended up being the right move, since a lot of those stocks were smaller cap stocks that do great in a bull run, as they did. But unfortunately, as you go into a recessionary, higher interest rate environment, they don't. And so we saw that writing on the wall and sold. Unfortunately, a lot of those stocks are now down 50 to 90% still today, or they're bankrupt. I have to live with the fact, though, that I once promoted those stocks, even though it was clear that, hey, some of these are ones you don't want to own in a recession. There's never going to be a shortage of people who want to bag on these three issues. And so I'll accept these. I completely accept responsibility for these, and I'm not going to quit, and I'm not going to give up. That being said, it has been very challenging. Whether or not I was in the right or wrong, doesn't matter. Whether or not my Nike swoosh, the volatile Nike swoosh thesis continues to play out as it has been, or no matter whatever successes or failures happen in the future for that matter, those things will probably always haunt me. That's just the nature of being on the internet. And so I've just found the easiest thing to do is just own up and say I effed up and try to move on. And so again, that's where people will generally tell you, just give up. And I will say there is a pleasure in just being able to say, I give up, I failed, and then go crawl into a hole and just disappear. That's the easy thing to do. You know, people love the quote, oh, it's better to die a hero than see yourself become the villain. You know, those are things that people say, and I think to myself, well, gosh, just because attention might fade doesn't mean somebody has changed who they are. That doesn't mean a hero has become a villain. It just means people's perceptions of the person change over time, and that could be driven by outside influences. That doesn't necessarily mean the person, Meet Kevin, is any different than the person that I was in 2017 or 18 when I was jumping out of bushes making real estate content, to making news content during the COVID era, to now also doing news content and sort of daily Fed, finance, Wall Street analysis. I enjoy this. And so same thing I did then, which is make content I enjoy, I keep doing that now. So the question is, even though the last period of time has been very challenging, what have I done over the last 18 months? Because again, it's easy to just quit. Well, fortunately, knock on wood that we can keep on this trajectory, but I built a team of 12 amazing employees and 4 absolutely incredible contractors. Individuals that work really hard in everything from software engineering to in-house legal work, deal analysis, research, accounting, you name it. In fact, what I've told myself is rather than retire and just live on the money that you made, I'm taking every dime of it and just reinvesting it. A lot of people would say, why? You've got twins now, you've got two children already from before that, an 8-year-old and almost a 6-year-old here. Why? Why take the risk and keep going? And I don't really know why. That's just me, but I'm going to. So we're throwing everything back into the strongest foundations that we can build. And we're going to do that whether or not people watch us on YouTube. We're going to just keep providing the same value that we can every single day, but it'll be agnostic of social media. Of course, it can be enhanced by social media. But think about this. Some of the folks who started working for me at some of the lowest points in my career, like stocks are down, sentiment really low on me, Kevin. Some people who started working for me for $14 to $16 an hour. That's it. One of the guys on my construction team started at like 13, 14 bucks an hour. One of the people who started out editing TikTok started at, something nominal like this as well. A bunch of interns that were working with me started out at $15.50 an hour. And now I'm really grateful to say every single person who works for me makes over $90,000 a year. Some of them, in fact, actually probably the majority of them, make between $100,000 to $220,000 a year. We're reinvesting everything into making sure that everybody who works with me can share in winning and keep winning and contribute to winning. And it's really exciting because, again, you would go from such a low period of time, which is right around the same time I launched my actively managed ETF. In fact, the first time I met some of my interns in person was when we were ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange, and we invited hundreds of course members to join me inside of that exchange. Knock on wood, as of the moment of this filming, we know the stock market can fluctuate on a daily basis, but for year to date, it's Christmas Eve here, year to date, we're beating the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. Again, things can fluctuate and no guarantees, but we've got over $40 million of people who have entrusted in that asset management, which is really, really cool. That it shows just that even though we've had failures, we have successes that I think shine way louder, starting with the team that we've built. It's an amazing success. The actively managed ETF, an amazing success. And we also launched something I've been dreaming about launching for a very long time, a real estate startup called HouseHack. We've raised over $40 million. We think the valuation of that company is at least 50 to 100% greater than what it was when people invested. That means somebody who invested $1 probably has a share worth somewhere between $1.50 to $2 now. It means the company's worth somewhere between $60 to $80 million. So that means we have over 40 in an ETF, 60 to 80 that we're managing in valuation for HouseHack. And we think we're just getting started. Over the last 18 months, rather than crawling into that hole and giving up, I doubled down and I've worked harder than I ever have before. It's weird to say, but I worked harder in the last 18 months during a period where viewership was declining than I worked in the 3 years before that, probably combined. It's kind of crazy to think about. I ran for governor the 3 years before. With the audience, we earned nearly 1 million votes in California, which is absolutely wild. We had a shot. Anyway, over the last 18 months, I convinced Elon Musk at an annual shareholder meeting in person to start advertising. I had dinner with Kathy Wood. I interviewed Barbara Corcoran in person, Kevin O'Leary in person. I confronted Peter Schiff in person at his home, and many other people. Incredible opportunities that we've developed with Ben Mala or other wonderful creators on the platform. And so now people wonder, great, that's great. Well, everybody was busy hating on you. you've done cool things, but what's next? Well, there are 3 prongs going forward, and I invite you to hold me accountable for these 3 prongs as hopefully we can go on the path from, taking this over $100 million in assets and turning it into many billions of dollars. Maybe that's delusional, but I think let's put it this way. I've never felt as confident in the ability to pull it off as we are now. So, knock on wood, not a guarantee. As you see, it's not a guarantee. Anyway, 3 prongs. All 3 that I call mirrors of a laser beam. It's kind of like when you build foundations, you're working to set up these mirrors, and then the light comes in, and you're trying to focus all of the mirrors on one sharp laser beam. And so even though some of these mirrors sound very different from each other, every single one of them helps the other one become better and increases the odds that the other one can make it across a B valuation, which is pretty wild. So what are those 3 laser beams myself and the team is working on? Well, first, we have HouseHack. HouseHack is awesome. You already know about HouseHack. HouseHack is going to go from phase 1, acquiring real estate, to phase 2. That's going to be the hardest transition for HouseHack. Getting to phase 2 is what turns HouseHack from a $60 to $80 million company into a multi-billion-dollar company. If we can pull off phase 2, there won't be any end to winning, which is really, really exciting. But we could fail. We could fail in pulling off phase 2. And that's why we need the other mirrors. Phase 2, by the way, for HouseHack has everything to do with mini funds and basically being able to create like a zero-fee way of investing in real estate. Kind of think about what Robinhood did for commission-free trading or Vanguard did for indexing. That needs to be done for real estate. And we think we've found the way to do that. And again, if we pull it off, we think it'll be tremendously successful. And we think we found the way to do it. One of the ways, though, that we enhance that laser beam is actually by launching a broker-dealer. Now, this sounds also very insane, but basically think literally Robinhood. And I'm talking about everything from trading to clearing to market making to algorithms to authorized participant work, you name it. That's required me get like every license under the sun in terms of securities, and there's still some more to get, but that aren't high priorities right now. Probably get about a year of a break before I have to think about licenses again. But I got the SIE, the 65, the 63, the 7, the 24, the 14, the 27, all done. Those basically let me, just in case you're wondering what those are, they let me run a broker-dealer. They let me sell securities. They let me supervise the sale of securities. They let me be a financial operations principal to make sure the finances for a broker-dealer are in line. They let me provide licensed financial advice. They let me sell securities within a state. All of these licenses have very specific purposes, and they're like unlocks for letting me do various different things. And some people might look at this and go, what does that have to do with HouseHack Phase 2? Well, if you think about what I said, HouseHack Phase 2 is, you might start realizing and waking up to, oh, those are securities. See how it relates? It's all part of this laser beam that we're really, really excited about. Yeah, so stay tuned. And it might even, maybe, involve some clearly regulated crypto opportunities as well, though that is a little bit more down the road. So buckle up. We'll see how our ETF approvals go here, or the world's ETF approvals go with BTC. Then there's the third laser, which obviously has gone through its fluctuation of time, but it has to do with finance news. And the best tool that I've found so far has been providing incredible value at ehack.com. And it's really just trying to encourage everybody who used to watch me that doesn't have as much time as they used to have to just follow my opinion, the news that I'm paying attention to, and the distillation of the news that I'm paying attention to at ehack.com. It's a really incredible website, and it links our sources, it links exactly what we're doing, and it separates what I think every news company should do, fact from bias. That's a big deal. And so we're going to be double, tripling down on this. Maybe not necessarily through these holiday days here, we'll post a little less, but as we go into 2024 and the election cycle. All three of these actually enhance each other into what we think will be a multi-billion-dollar laser, very, very powerful laser, and to hopefully where all three of these can individually cross that mark. Now, there's a lot of risk involved in this, a lot of risk. The expenses that I'm exposed to today are the highest that I've ever had in my life. Now, I think that I'm in a place where I can use the money that we've built and reinvest into these opportunities. Some people will say, Kevin, why is it that you would want to spend all of this money and risk everything that you've built? Why would you do that if you could just rest on those laurels? And it actually doesn't have to do with money. Money is cool and all as like a measurable goal, but I actually think it's much more than that. I think life is about building successes. And yes, there are going to be failures and scars along the way. I have scars on my body too, so I have scars physically and mentally and in social media. But I believe the worst thing, and it would just kill me from the inside out, would be to give up and stop. Because I think what we can build can create many millionaires, multi-millionaires, not just with the people who invest with us, but also the people who work for us. If you ever want a job, send us a resume at jobs@meetkevin.com, from accounting, financial analysis, if you got Wall Street experience, software engineering experience, whatever, we need it all. And I'm committing to take all of the money that I've built up and just make sure that everywhere I need to, I'm able to throw that money and go, we are reinvesting. That's my commitment. And so some people will look and say, okay, well, some of the things, Kevin, that you personally choose to spend money on, like how you travel or whatever, that's stupid. It's a waste of money or whatever. And that's okay. People can have whatever opinion they want. For me, everything that I spend money on is a tool to make sure that I can make all of these laser beams operate as efficiently as possible. And it's really hard. It's really, really hard. It's hard to have the time to make sure every single employee is able to fire on all cylinders, to make sure that I'm involved and understand what's going on at every single layer of the organization, to make sure that if somebody needs help, they get the help that they need. If somebody is confused about how to do something, I'm there to be able to help train them and make sure that in the future, they are able to train other people like I'm able to train them. And it's challenging because there's so much to do. But maybe I'm a madman, maybe I'm crazy, but I absolutely love it. I love absolutely everything that we've built and what we are building. I actually feel like we've just put foundations down and we're just getting started, which is really, really exciting. And so I think zooming out for everyone for a moment, if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're somebody who's down in the dumps, or you're facing depression, or things just aren't working out right now, I personally have found one of the things that helps me the most is pretending like I've been reset to zero, pretending like everything's bad, everything's the worst it's ever going to be right now. It's kind of like I'm just gonna example, like you shave your head or whatever gives you a symbol of being at what you feel like is a very low point. And when you're there, it's very important you surround yourself with people you love, right? But everything that you do after that, every new project you start working on, every new commitment you make that you start fulfilling and committing to, actually starts feeling like a micro win. And then you take your experience in those micro wins and you let them start compounding. And sometimes, much like compound interest, it can take a really long time for you to start seeing the exponential portion of that compounding. And that's why I purposely like the idea of what can you do to mentally reset yourself to zero so that every bit of those little successes, which could be as simple as I'm going to commit to exercising every day. I'm going to commit to waking up early every single day. I'm going to commit to having a checklist and making sure I get a little bit of all of the things on my checklist done every single day. So I'm touching everything daily to where I'm not leaving things behind or letting things fall through the cracks. Or it could be as simple as, I'm gonna clean the garage, I'm gonna clean the closet, I'm gonna clean the office, I'm gonna finish those projects I've been waiting to finish. Great time to do that, by the way, at the end of the year. Now, every day you can look back and go, damn, that looks clean. Wow, I'm actually not behind on that. Wow, I'm actually getting done what I committed to get done. Wow. For an example for me, like, I'm gonna go back to doing market open live streams every day. Every single day, 5:25 sharp to 6:45. Live stream on the Meet Kevin Live channel. Course member live streams right after that, every single day. You know, obviously, we've got more lectures coming out for the gold course. So if you want sort of my perspectives on building your wealth, whether it's real estate or stocks for 2024 or otherwise, check out the gold course. It's the best thing we've got right now. It's also the most affordable way to get into the course member live streams. That's linked down below. Price will go up at the end of the year, on the first of the year. But anyway, we look at being able to build and look back at these little wins and go, okay, this gives me the fuel to keep going. It gives you the fuel to look and go, that's cleaner, that's better, it's working better. To know, okay, if we could do this now daily for a long period of time, the exponential gains will come. It's just a matter of patience. Obviously, a lack of patience can lead to rash decisions. And don't get me wrong, I've made some rash decisions as well. But they're always in the spirit of trying to find what is the best possible way forward. And I kind of like this book. It's called Good to Great. They talk about being on a bus, and it's kind of like you want to be driving the bus. If you're the entrepreneur or CEO or whatever, you're driving the bus, and your goal is to get the best possible people onto that bus. Because when the best possible people are on that bus, we might be like, all right, now we're gonna do this. Oh, nope, that's the bad way. Okay, now we're gonna go this way. Oh, no, that's even worse. Okay, we're gonna go this way. Okay, this is working. We're on that bumpy, clunky bus together. If you got a good team, it's all the easier to transition and flex your way through really an uncharted territory. And for all of us, our journey is uncharted, right? It might feel like, oh, people have done my job before or whatever, but your life is uncharted. You have to figure it out. And when you're going down a path that you know is a bad path to go down, you gotta change. You gotta flip-flop, as people say. And every little turn you make, there's always gonna be somebody going, ha ha, I knew that was a bad move. Ha ha, look at you, loser. Your bus is zigzagging like crazy. Well, at least we're on a bus, unlike you in the swamp being a hater. So, anyway, that's my Christmas Eve message, and those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching and the support. Remember, if you don't have the time to watch all of the videos that I make, ehack.com. If you want to wake up with me, have some coffee with me, watch the market open live streams. 2024 is going to be all about executing on all of the cylinders we have, so expect more content, better content. I love y'all. If you want updates on HouseHack, go to the HouseHack channel. We're going to post a before and after. My goal was to get that out Friday. Christian still got it in editing, so we'll probably get it out by Tuesday, if not maybe today. But anyway, thank you so much. We love y'all, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.